So do you see, I'm just, not that you necessarily have, do you see any other startups that are similar to you that they may be starting off into this area of accessibility, or, like you're helping approach the blind low vision market, but you have opportunities to go beyond that with your technology and your concept. Do you see other, with the Internet of Things coming along, do you see other companies that are innovating in this space of how to use high technology for the benefit of people with disabilities?
Yeah, yeah. The obvious thing that I can think of is the platforms with the computer vision background, right? So, for example, recently Microsoft released the Seeing AI app, which is awesome because you're basically using the existing computer vision that they have built, and they created an app that will immediately serve or target the blind and low vision market. But that also means that that computer vision platform can be extensively used some other applications too. And I tend to think there are few startups who took the similar approach, wherein creating their computer vision platforms, applying first to the blind and low vision community, and then spinning off to other computer vision applications. And for Aira, I always would like to say that we will not be building the neural nets like ourselves, but we'll be building a intelligent context-based AI on top of the existing platforms. Because for us, it's just not about vision, not about computer vision, just not about computer vision, but it's about aggregation of all the context that is needed to provide information for the blind to do a task or an activity. Think about it as, I need to get down from my office now, and then I need to catch an Uber out there on the street. There are so many things that happens from you to get out in a unfamiliar building, find the elevators, get down, request an Uber, find the car, find a place to pick up, and so forth. Um, so I think there are startups that exist, and I think it is always a what do you call interesting proposition to kind of provide value for the blind and low vision community. But at least for Aira, we started with the blind and low vision community. So our whole ideation process is because we wanted to provide information to the blind and low vision. And now along the way, there are numerous amounts of opportunities that we are finding in the mainstream application. So it's kind of a little bit different. People think about mainstream and go to the blind and low vision. And for us, it's kind of the flip side, which is we went into the blind and low vision and kind of pulled together, only to realize there is much more potential for a lot of mainstream applications in this space.
Yeah,
Does
well,
that
that's
make
really
sense?
cool. Yeah, oh, it does, and that's really cool. And we since we're doing the Accessible Alley Challenge, we're looking for ideas from people on how this type of autonomous shuttle would work in people's lives, and not just for the blind, low vision, but of course people that might be deaf or have hearing impairments or cognitive impairments or others just mobility impairments. But
Yeah, that's right. So
we're,
yeah, autism, dementia, elderly care are
yeah,
one of our immediate
there
targets.
there could be somebody that has Alzheimer's and they're not wanting to know where the bus is taking them. They want to know why they're on the bus.
Yeah,
So not a
yeah,
joke, but
yeah, and that's how we are looking at it as well. So we are doing some experimentation into the world of autism as well as dementia
interesting.
and elderly care too. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, just probably a last question, just for if we have any listeners that are younger, thinking about being entrepreneurs too. Do you think that this is a good path for an entrepreneur to work in, with technology, disabilities, and then maybe even see a larger upside to it all beyond that even?
Yeah, I don't see a reason why not. But I mean, as an entrepreneur, I think everybody has their passion,
Yeah.
right? I don't know, I'm not an expert in the entrepreneurship, but I think for an entrepreneur, like following that true passion is where they'll probably spend most of the energy. Um, and accessibility, I think there is lots of opportunity in this space. And I do have arguments around what is the definition of accessibility itself.
Clever.
I was hosting a panel at the convention, so I brought this. It's kind of a heated topic, which is good for a panel. It makes a what do you call intelligent conversation and debatable conversation, which is always good. But I think in general, you know, I believe there is more than 12 to 13 sorry, 1.3 billion uh, people who are disabled worldwide, and the normal consensus is that that's the size of China,
Yeah.
right? That's how the population is. So there is a great population that could benefit from assistive technology in general. And if you think about it, it's gonna only bombard in the few months, because for a few years, because of the baby boomers. I'm sure you know all these things,
Yeah. Yeah.
but just to re-emphasize that the baby boomer thing is actually coming,
Yeah.
and it is real. And you know, I'm sure there are a lot of startups who are thinking ahead on, what are the likely troubles or problems with having more elderly people, in the world, and what are the some of the opportunities that we may not be seeing today, which may be obvious in the future.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's enormous. And like you said, just the disability market worldwide is enormous too. So, well,
Yep.
that's the time I wanted to take away from you. I do think you're an expert on being an entrepreneur. So I don't think anyone who can go in and raise some capital from a venture capital is an expert on being an entrepreneur. So I really
Well, it's always a learning experience, at least for me. And as much as there is an expertise in one area, I always feel that there is more to it than what we already know. So that's my typical take on any topic. We know what we know today, but there is much more to it. Hey, one comment on accessible only, which I did not
yeah,
make.
sure.
So I mean, of course, I saw accessible only, and just the whole concept and the proof of, and some of the demos that you have done are pretty amazing. So there is always this talk in the community about what is uh, where does IRA fit into the autonomous vehicles world.
Yeah,
We've been like brainstorming some things with our partners at Google. What does it mean? At the end of the day, you still need to have human for that safety, right?
yeah,
The last mile. What if something fails? We need to be able to override the autonomous, and it's very similar to planes, like autopilot feature, right?
yeah,
So um, what does it mean for Ira to be taking over a remote car? So it's a debatable topic, because then we can always argue if we will have enough bandwidth to do that or not. But I think that is one topic that always comes up, and it will be super awesome to kind of figure out what does it mean for a platform like Ira to be integrating into a platform like accessible Ollie, right? So I
yeah.
think that's an interesting topic for me, which I actually brainstormed with Eric Manser as well from IBM.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're still in such early days of autonomous controlled vehicles, and
Right.
obviously the fact you've got a connection to Google, you've got connection to the very smart people out there in the space. But if you're talking about how if Ollie went into some sort of an issue with its operation and it needed control, and you essentially had this agent platform and essentially remote eyes that could do things as a service, it would be, I'm sure, an interesting backup safety measure to have in the design of the vehicle.
Yeah.
If that's the concept you're referring to.
Yep. That's exactly the concept I was referring to. So cool.
Yeah,
Anyways.
yeah, it's really good. So I super appreciate the time you took with us, and it's really exciting what you're doing, and good luck with all of it, and can't wait to see it. And I personally have wanted to actually experience it, like go spend a few days without my eyes, turn my eyes off, and guide myself around town. And I'm interested in it because sometimes I don't. Sometimes I get a lot of information in my eyes that I'd actually rather not get. Like I,
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because at the convention last week, at the NFP convention, I spent one day with my sleep shades on. I do have orientation and mobility training, so I can actually use a white cane and get around places just fine. So with the combination of my orientation and mobility training with a white cane, and I always like to show off my white cane skills, um,
That's good.
and with the combination of Ira, I had heck of a day. And it is true, what you are talking about, which is, sometimes you often get that visual information which you don't want. Like, how do you avoid it, right? And I almost felt like I was talking to one of my friends. It's like almost feels like you are using some different parts of the brain. You are thinking differently, which is little bit unnatural to what you would otherwise think. Um, so anyways, I think it's a wonderful concept, and I had heck of a time. And I met few people for the first time when I was wearing sleep shirts at the bar, and next day I met them with my seeing. It's like, yeah, I know you. I recognize with your voice now. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well,
Already sounds good.
Thank you so much. I'll say goodbye and thanks for your time
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dan.
and
It
your
was fun.
ideas. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.